Two different stories. One moment of connection, a question and answer. No space in between. This is Bridging the Spaces.
Hello, I'm Tara Abu Samra, managing partner at bloomingbox.com. Bloomingbox.com is an online gifting brand that specializes in luxury gifting.
And I'm Brooke Bellamy, the founder of Brookie Bakehouse, home to the internet's favorite cookies.
We're here at the Marsa Boulevard, under the bridge, for an episode with Bridge Talks by Do. We're hoping to bridge some spaces.
Blooming Box isn't just about gifts, it's about moments. What's one gesture that made you realize you weren't just sending gifts, but feelings?
So I was born in the UAE, and being brought up here, you're taught generosity, hospitality, kindness, and culture, really. And so naturally, when Jai and I founded the business, all these values were engraved into the brand. And we were lucky to have catched on a very early realization that in gifting, people remember how you made them feel more than what you've gotten them. And so that's primarily, I would say, carved our mission, which is to hopefully inspire people to build more meaningful relationships. And so what people don't know is that Blooming Box is not a transaction. We take part of every emotional exchange between two individuals, whether it's I love you, I'm sorry, welcome back. So we're part of all those emotions. And so every time we're building something, we're asking ourselves, how does it make the customer feel? And the right answer is they should feel seen and valued. What about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's actually quite similar in our business. People often think of Brookie as a cookie business, but it's actually about those celebrations, those big moments. We make cakes, cupcakes, like a lot of different things that you would usually see at the center of a table for a celebration. And I think exactly what you said is so true. It's not about the gift itself, but it's how that person feels receiving it. And to be a part of those moments in life, a small part, is the most special thing as a business owner.
So people line up for hours outside Brookie. What do you think they're really craving? Is it the cookie or the comfort behind it?
I think when people join a queue, they're more excited about that experience itself. It's not always just the product and receiving the product at the end. It's kind of like that saying that it's about the journey, not the destination. And I think when you see a line and you're willing to join it, and like time is precious, right? If you're willing to stand in a queue for a cookie, I think it's more about joining that movement, that community, and being a part of something bigger than ourselves or outside of ourselves. I think when people line up at Brookie, they're really craving community and being a part of that. And you know, finding out about something on social media is so exciting, and then you actually go in real life to experience that brand. I think to take yourself out of the social context and be in real life and want to experience something tangible, something you can touch, smell, taste, is such an experience for people as a whole. And so I think people do it to be a part of that movement, a part of that community.
I totally agree. And I love the answer.
Thank you.
For sure.
You've built something that celebrates giving. Do you think people give gifts to make others happy or to feel seen themselves?
I think it's a bit of both, but I think from what we've learned in this business is that according to many studies, the secret to happiness in life is meaningful relationships. And the way to form meaningful relationships is to express. It's even part of the 5 languages of love, you know, the acts of kindness and the art of giving. And so we're blessed to be in this industry because we get to experience how customers express. And so I think it's really about that. I think people want to feel seen and heard. And also people want to be represented in the right way to express their emotions. And you know, a lot of people could be a bit shy when it comes to emotions. And so we are the platform that allows them to express without having to maybe verbally express. And so it's just been an amazing journey. I remember early on in the business, we had a bit of an incident, more of a challenge, but we launched just a week before Valentine's Day, and we got about 200 orders sold out. We were very excited. and we had tied up with a delivery company to fulfill, and then they call us the night before and say, sorry man, we cannot fulfill the orders. And we say, what do you mean you can't fulfill the orders? We've got 7 Emirates to cover for. And they said, you know, we miscalculated, and we're happy to support in any way possible, but we cannot deliver those orders. And so we called friends of friends and family, and we said, we need to go out and deliver those orders. And the best thing that came out of that experience is because Jai and I were delivering the orders, we would see how people would react receiving them. And it was so emotional for them. And that's when we understood that in our e-commerce, the E stands for emotions in our case.
I love that. I'm curious to know, is your love language giving gifts?
Personally, giving and not receiving.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's so interesting because your whole business is built on giving gifts. And it's interesting to know as a founder how you express yourself.
Yeah. So I love to, I think, look, it all varies. There's no right and there's no wrong. But generally, I've noticed and I've learned this about myself. I'm more about words of affirmation. I believe in the power of words. So that impacts me, especially if it's someone that I love. Their voice is very loud in my head. But to express my language, I think if I'm with the right group of people or person, I'm very expressive. I can really make someone move mountains.
It's beautiful.
You share so much sweetness with others. What's one thing that fills your cup when you need it the most?
Well, I think my love language, personally, is acts of service. And that ties directly back into owning a business because my husband is actually the co-director of Brookie.
Nice.
And everyone always says to us that must be so difficult to work together.
I was about to ask, like, that's a common challenge people face.
Yeah, and it is really difficult. There's never a day where we don't have some kind of disagreement because you have two people, two different personalities, two different egos, two different ways of approaching things, communicating. But in a way, it has made us so much stronger as well as a couple and then as business partners because we understand each other on a personal level, not just a professional level. But having him as part of the business, I think, has been integral to our success. And I think you would know, having a co-founder, just having that level of trust is so invaluable. I think it's really difficult. Business is difficult, and being a founder is difficult. And quite often, and I myself do this too, we glamorize it online, or you see like these really successful...
The wins.
Yeah, and like lots of big podcasts, they're talking about the wins in business. But the everyday struggles are also so real. And every single day you wake up with problems to solve. And creativity to me is really just problem solving. Every day going in and looking at a problem and saying, okay, this is the problem, but we're not going to get anywhere without a solution. So let's figure out together as a team how we approach things. And yeah, having my husband in the business has been the best thing, I think, for me personally and professionally.
Okay, that's amazing to hear because generally partnerships are very tricky. They're like a marriage. It's very exciting in the beginning, but then the responsibilities kick in and then you're challenged on a regular basis. But I love what you said because truly I believe business owners, or aka entrepreneurs, their main job is to problem solve, right? You wake up every day in the morning and think, what are we solving today? Is it the growth of the company? Is it the manpower ratio to the output of the business? What is it exactly? And so it's amazing, and I totally agree. And I think, look, Jai and I, we come from two different generations, and that's the beauty of it. I've learned the hard way that partnerships are not just about how much you like the person, because you could love a best friend. It doesn't mean you have to launch a business with them, but rather how well do you complement each other, and do you focus on different things for the business? And that's crucial. And so we had our challenges given that we come from two different generations, but we decided to bring in a coach midway through to guide us through this relationship. And I promise you, ever since we did that, I got to experience a different side of Jaya. And so I saw a very sweet, kind side of Jaya that I would not see in the business. In the business, you're very much about the transaction of the day. And so ever since we've crossed paths in a positive way, meaning I became closer to what he likes and vice versa. And now we focus on that. So the beauty of partnership is definitely amazing if it's done correctly. I totally agree with you.
I'm curious to know, what are your strengths in the business and what are your co-founders' strengths?
All right, so I'll give you an example to maybe bring a bit of perspective. When we first launched the business, I'd be looking at the design of the box, the design of the flowers, and how would the logo look on the box, and I wouldn't even think about the cost, right? To me, it was like, how are we gonna make this product look the most presentable at the utmost quality possible? And he'd be thinking, how much would this rose cost if we can replace it with a different type of rose? And so to him, he was talking to me about the fills, or the scents, as people say. Because, and I went up to him and I said, Jay, you're very concerned about the costs. I'm concerned about the value we're adding. But then he said, when the business grows to generate, or to, let's say, start delivering in the thousands of orders per day, those scents or fills will start to really matter. And today that's exactly the case. So he's very much oriented towards the how. I'm more focused on the why. And together we complement the what. I think I sound a bit philosophical, but really that's the truth of it. We're beautifully different.
Yeah, we have the same thing. And I think this goes back to exactly what you said, that you complement each other. Because for me, I started the business because I love baking and I love eating sweets. And for me, the question is always the quality of the product. But for my husband, it's more about the scalability and the quantity. Like, how do we make this a scalable product that we can get out to the most people? And so we're constantly having that debate over quality and quantity and what matters most. And I think in business, because at the end of the day, the numbers do matter and you still have to make money to be able to stay in business. So we work very well together in that way.
I love that. So basically, he's the Jaya and you're the Tariq.
Exactly.
In a way, okay, cool.
Opening a business a week before Valentine's Day is crazy, by the way, especially in gift giving. What was the thought process?
I think we were excited because we wanted, generally as a business owner, I think one thing you're after initially is proof of concept. And we've discussed it, of course, and the thought was, we've got the products, we've built the site. Why not launch a week before Valentine's? That gives us enough room. And of course, we were capped on the number of orders. We were not going crazy. And we did a very small campaign on Facebook at the time. It was Facebook and WhatsApp, and we had just sent out a broadcast that says, this Valentine's Day, a blooming box is coming your way. That's all we did. And suddenly orders started to come in. I remember sleeping at night, waking up in the morning, and the orders email were just, accumulating, and it was such a good feeling. And I think we needed that as a boost, to give you that sense of security, perhaps, that you're on the right track. And how's Valentine's for Brookie?
It's the busiest day of the year. I'm sure it's the same for you. Gift giving is huge between couples. And then also, a lot of people on Valentine's Day, they want to share it. They want to share that they're loved and they feel that love. But we actually had a little bit of a disaster one year when we didn't cap the orders. And it was great for business because we got a lot of orders. However, I ended up making 600 miniature cakes. And because it's a fresh product, you have to make the product the day before. And so there's no other time you can do it. You can't pack the orders a week before because it's, a product that can sit. It's a fresh product. So the day before Valentine's Day, preparing 600 mini cakes. We only had a few staff members at the time, so I was the only person trained to make the cakes. And even though I worked 24 hours straight, no sleep, this was before having kids, by the way. Now it would be almost impossible. Even though I did that 24 hours straight, it was still so stressful the day of pickups because I was still making cakes. So I prioritized the cakes that were being picked up early in the day and then just kept making cakes throughout the day, trying to keep up with those pickups. There were a few missed orders and a few unhappy customers, and I learned the hard way to cap those orders and turn those orders off.
How would you compensate such customers? Because, first-hand experience similar to you, we had a very similar incident a few years back. Very, very similar, right? To us, it was, we did cap the orders, but I would say about 50 drivers didn't show up. And to us, we can produce all we want, but if there's no drivers to pick them up and deliver, what can you do? So again, we had to, roll out. And I think compensation is what matters. So if you can tap on that, I think I'm curious to know, how would you compensate those acquired customers?
I take it very personally, I think, because you are being a part of someone's celebration and their special moment, their special day. And we work on a calendar year, and there's only so many days in the year where you really stop and celebrate yourself. Birthdays,
I love that.
engagements,
Yeah.
Christmas, whatever you're celebrating. And so for me, whenever we've had an issue, it's been really important for me personally to respond, for me personally to email and apologize for the mistake. And I think people really value that, because you're taking time out of your day as the founder to say, first of all, I'm sorry. Second of all, here's a couple of options for you to fix this for you, whether it's, the product is provided free of charge and or another voucher for future use. I think I like to offer options to the customer so they don't feel like, okay, this happened and here's all I get for it. We like to offer a few different options so that they get the choice of how can we make this right for you. And I think that's something that people need to be more honest about in business, is that mistakes happen.
It's how you compensate.
Yeah, it's how you compensate, and it's how you learn as a business as well. So I think just being so transparent to people and saying, I'm so sorry, this hasn't happened to us before. We're sorry it happened to you. How can we fix it for you? How can
No
we make it
excuses.
better? Yeah, exactly.
I agree.
Exactly. And no blaming. We never pass the blame on to other.
It was the delivery
staff
company,
members.
it was the
Yeah.
staff, it was
Exactly,
100%.
because the customer doesn't care whose fault it is. They just want it to be fixed. So
I
I think
agree.
that's really important.
You're absolutely right. And one thing I want to go back to, you said I was the only one who knows how to make those cakes. What was the team size then?
Maybe 5 or 6.
Okay. And why was it that you were the only one who knew how to do those cakes and that recipe?
Because we started in a 41 square meter bakery. Now we have 7 locations. We're now opening in the UAE, which is all very exciting, but it started only 3.5 years ago in one tiny space. There was me, there was someone working the front register, and there was someone working the coffee machine. So those are the 3 points: back of house, front of house, and coffee machine in a small 41 square meter space. And as we grew so quickly from going viral online, suddenly there's a queue of people all the way up the street, and you have this tiny little 41 square meter bakery to make thousands of cookies out of. It was almost impossible. And so we outgrew the space, and then from there we moved into a production kitchen and then a bigger production kitchen.
Yeah.
But there are those pain points. There's those moments where you outgrow that space and you need to move into another space. But suddenly those orders all come in. It's one of the most important days of the year for people to celebrate their loved ones, Valentine's Day. And you don't have a choice but to make it happen.
True.
So yeah, it was difficult. I'm not gonna lie, it was really difficult, but it was that moment that we realized now's the time to grow.
And that's the only way to grow, right? It's, I think on growth mode, you have to face those challenges.
Yeah.
And that's how you learn.
Yeah.
Let me ask you another question. What is really one thing behind the scenes that people don't know of today? Whoever's watching the story of Brookie today, one thing behind the scenes that makes all the difference.
I would say probably the culture within Brookie. So we focus a lot on community, which is the people that support the brand, and they're watching with us, they're excited to see the growth story, they're customers, but they're also our community. But the reason why Brookie has been successful is because not just I love the brand, but everyone who works in the brand loves it. Everyone who's building is building with us, and I think for the people who join us, like bakers, delivery drivers, front of house service staff, everyone emulates the brand and cares about the brand as much as I do. And I don't think growth is possible going from a business to a brand without people who love the product, the brand, the community as much as you do.
Amen to that.
Yeah, and a lot of people who apply for a job at Brookie are customers. So they already love the brand, they love the product, they know the product, and they're so excited to be a part of it.
Amazing.
Okay, I have another question. We both build bridges through small joys, a cookie, a box, or a gesture. What's one space that you're still trying to bridge?
Very interesting question. I'm going to answer this based on 2 parts, just to be fair for the business and on a personal level as well. Look, I think as a brand, generally, let's say generally, brands are a bit distant from customers. If you think of a brand as a persona, as a person, and we play this game in the office sometimes, right? I let the team close their eyes and I'd say, imagine Blooming Box being a person. Who would that person be? How would they look like? What's their characteristics? And often you hear the quality, superb, excellent, beauty lover. Some see it as a he, some see it as a she. But at the end of that conversation, I always refer back to one thing that I truly believe. We want to be a kind brand, right? Because we're a Dubai-based brand, we're a UAE homegrown brand, and we're here. We're close to your heart, we're close to everyone. We're representing you at the most sensitive situations, right? Today, when you're putting trust in us to deliver and express your emotions on your behalf, it's time sensitive, it's quality sensitive, it's packaging sensitive, it's delivery experience sensitive. And so we'd love to bridge kindness and become a closer brand to customers. Honestly, that's really what we want to do. And I know it sounds a bit cliche, but that's on a business level. We'd love to bridge being a kind brand. On a personal level, I think you'd probably relate to me on this because generally business owners, and I think most humans, you're always thinking of tomorrow, next week, planning for next year, and you often forget to celebrate the now, the moments of today. And like you just said, sometimes you go through wins on a daily basis, but you forget to celebrate them. And so I would say on a personal level, I'd love to celebrate, or let's say I'd love to bridge more moments with people I love. And because, you know, as Blooming Box, we're helping people bridge their emotions every day. We can't forget our own.
So interesting you say that, because I think we can be so focused on the work that you forget about yourself as a founder in that area because you see it as work. It's the same for me when I go to a cafe or a bakery or a restaurant even. I can't enjoy that moment because I'm watching service, I'm
100%.
seeing everything that's happening around me, and it's like the last person you're thinking about is yourself in giving gifts and in, you know, taking care of yourself and the people around you, because you're so focused on doing that every day for customers that it becomes work. And I think as founders, one thing we need to get better at is treating ourselves and making ourselves feel special, celebrate those wins, but also just taking care of ourselves, because we can't take care of our team or our customers unless we take care of ourselves.
I agree. Self-love is what matters. Cool. It was amazing.
Do you have one more?
I have the same. It was about
we
how...
have the same. Okay, so what I've established from our conversation today is that we are both in the business of gift giving and celebrations. If we were to collaborate, Blooming Box and Brookie, what would it look like?
I think we're massive on collaborations. We love collaborations. We feel customers always get the value when two brands come together, especially when they're brands that are close to their hearts, which I'm 100% certain Brookie is and has. And also we're both brands that starts with B. We could definitely play around that. I think, look, think of a box that can celebrate the five senses. Something you can taste, something you can smell, you can see, obviously you can hear, and with the card message and all. And I think people just love the idea of being able to smell something nice and have and taste something amazing. Food is love. I'm sure you know this already more than me, right? Foodies generally talk about food being a form of love. And so what better than flowers, probably the oldest gift that people used to gift from Pharaoh's days, to something they love to eat. I think coming together would be amazing of value, 100%.
Have you heard the saying, flowers say I'm sorry, chocolates say I love you?
No, but I like it.
So if we were to put flowers and let's say chocolate in choc chip cookies together, what message do you think we would be sending to the recipient, or the customer would be sending to the recipient?
Interesting. I think, so you said flowers say I'm sorry and chocolates say I love you. I think whether you're sorry, whether you're, whatever form of expression, end of the day, the core is love. And as long as you're delivering that message, the person feels valued. No matter what your love language is love. And that's the foundation. That's the solution to most problems in life, by the way, in my humble opinion.
I love that. So you're saying we should collaborate?
100%. I'm ready. And the team is ready. I mean, the team might be a bit overwhelmed at the moment, but for sure, anytime.
Sounds great.
Done.
That was great. So
amazing.
much easier when it's natural. Thank you so much.
Pleasure.
Appreciate
Thank you
it.
so much.
Do 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 do.